Shalom. Shalom, Ahar, Wa, Baraka. First and foremost, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Waracha, Kadash. Also, double honors to everybody bringing out the sincere truth. That's all there is to it. You know who you are. Let's get right into it. So we're going to finish up the Exodus class. And this is a long class because I want to, I want to go through everything with you guys. That's all there is to it. It's one of my favorite holidays. So I just, believe it or not, it's a solemn. So I just spend it with my family. I don't do nothing with nobody. I don't do nothing with nobody when it comes to the Passover. Now, in the past, I have. And I haven't told my own family members that don't keep the laws with me, you cannot come to the Passover. You just can't show up just to be. It's not like that. And only certain people, honestly, the only people that are going to understand that are the people that are following the instructions. But let's get back into it right away. Right away. First things first. The last plague we were talking about was the fire and the ice, with the hail having fire and ice coming out of it. And that would be Seth, the god of storms. So we went through all of them. Seth with fire and ice. So we're going to get down to the last three plagues. Two of them being my top two most favorite. Seth, where Seth gets proven to be a false god. That's my third favorite right there. The Most High put fire and ice and it burned hotter. That's crazy. All right, so with that being said, let's go to Exodus chapter 10. And we're gonna start from the top. And Yahweh said unto Moses, Go unto Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart and the heart of his servants, that I might show these my signs before him, and that thou mayest tell in the ears of thy sons and thy sons' sons what things I have wrought in Egypt, and my signs which I have done among them, that ye may know how that I am Yahweh. Well, he would say Haya right there. We'll still say Yahweh. Anyways, so what that just said right there is that the reason why he's doing this, listen again. For I have hardened his heart and the heart of his servants. Why is the Most High doing these things? Why is Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, why is he doing these things? Let's see. That I might show these my sign before him. He wanted to show how powerful he is. In everybody's face that's against him. All his adversaries. All of his. But anyway. Also. So we know that he wanted to show his might and his power to his adversaries. Also. That thou mayest tell in the ears of thy sons and thy sons' sons what things I have wrought in Egypt. So he wants us to teach about the Exodus to our children, and our children's children, and our children's children's children, and so on and so forth throughout the generations. Let's keep reading. And Moses and Aaron came in unto Pharaoh and said unto him, Thus saith Yahweh of the Hebrews, How long wilt thou refuse to humble thyself before me? Let my people go, that they may serve me. Else, if thou refuse to let my people go, behold, tomorrow I will bring the locust into thy coast. Now, of course, he hardened Pharaoh's heart. He already told you that he hardened his heart. He told him, go back and harden his heart some more. And so, let's just jump down to verse 7. The Pharaoh's servant said unto him, because, you know, he obviously he put the locust on him. The Pharaoh's servant said unto him, how long shall this man be a snare unto us? Let the men go, that they may serve their Lord, the Lord their God. Knowest not yet that Egypt is destroyed? Kind of like I destroyed that verse, right? Let me read it again. And Pharaoh's servant said unto him, how long shall this man be a snare unto us? Let the man go, that they may serve the Lord, that they may serve the Lord their God. Knowest thou not yet that Egypt is destroyed? So, literally, his magicians and all of his servants, everybody that's left, they're like, bro, he completely demolished us, man. Let him go, man. Just let him go. So, let's say it like this. Consider it like this. Consider it like this. His servants and his counselors thought he was hard-headed because he wouldn't listen and he couldn't see that the place was destroyed. He destroyed all of Egypt. You can't even figure it out. Just like how they're destroying spiritual Egypt right now. And who's in charge? Well, we know that there's a shadow government in charge. But they put good old Sleepy Joe right out there on the front line to be the hard-headed spiritual Pharaoh that is destroying spiritual Egypt. And pretty soon, we will be set free. This is a great time to be alive. Let's go ahead and jump up to verse 12 so we can get back to these locusts. And the Lord said unto Moses, stretch out thine hand over the land of Egypt for the locusts, that they may come up upon the land of Egypt and eat every herb of the land, even all that the hail hath left. And Moses stretched forth his rod over the land of Egypt, and the Lord brought an east wind upon the land all that day and all that night. And when it was morning, the east wind brought the locusts. And the locusts went up over the land of Egypt and rested in all the coast of Egypt. Very grievous were they. Before them there were no such locusts as they, neither after them shall be such. So even to this day, it ain't like what they saw in Egypt. This is really the spiritual Egypt. We get the locusts every year now. We get them every year covering everything. But not like this. Africa gets them every year. You know what? Everybody gets that locust plague every year. And nobody notices that that's one of the plagues right out of the Exodus. And here we are wanting to get set free. I can't wait until you guys see how he comes to get us. But anyway, let's read verse 15. For they covered the face of the whole earth, so that the land was darkened, and they did not eat they did eat herb of the land and all the fruit of the trees which hell had left. And there remained not any green thing in the trees or in the herbs of the field throughout all the land of Egypt. So, anything that was left, if the hail that was shooting ice, hail with fireballs inside of it, if there was anything left after that, he gave it to the locusts and they ate the locusts. And of course, the locust is the goddess of the sky. But let me read 15 again. So the nut, goddess of the sky, that's the female's name, Nut. But anyway, let's read 15 again, because Nut, she is the goddess of the sky. For they covered the face of the whole earth, and the land was darkened. The whole sky was blocked out. Why didn't the goddess of the sky show her face? Oh, because she's fake. So just to let you guys know, I just wanted to share that with you. Let's jump up to verse, we're going to go into my second most favorite plague now. This one right here, this is phenomenal. This is where the tables start to turn a little bit. But not enough, because there's still two more plagues. There's this one and one more. This is the plague of darkness. Destitute of light. It's the plague of black. Black means to be destitute of light. Why do you think they call you black? White means to be righteous and set apart and holy. Holy is set apart. Righteous and holy. So, they call you black. But this is the plague of darkness, which is black. Destitute of light. There is going to be no light in this one. Let's go to Exodus chapter 10 and verse 21. And the Lord said unto Moses, stretch out thine hand towards heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt. It was so thick you could feel it. And Moses stretched forth his hand towards heaven, and there was thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. Woo! Thick. I can feel it. Darkness. They saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. I got light in my dwelling right now. We're in the Feast of Unleavened Bread right now. All praise to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, that I can read this message. Share the message to your children and your children's children and the generations after you. Teach the Exodus. But we had light. Let's go over to the Wisdom of Solomon. This is why I like this plague so much, because once you get an Apocrypha and you can jump into the Wisdom of Solomon, you'll see what I'm talking about. Wisdom of Solomon. This I'm definitely gonna have to get me a new Bible. I get one about every year because they can start falling apart after a while. You know what I mean? We be working these Bibles to where that's why I got so many KJVs around, because I tear them up for some reason. I be like rough on the book. I don't know. I'm flipping through the pages, just trying to get these precepts like everybody else. But let's go to the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, and we're going to start I'm just gonna go through it. Watch. This is my favorite. This is one of my favorite plagues that the Most High did to our enemies, to our oppressors, to our adversaries, to the bearers of false witness against us. Let's see what he did. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17. For great are thy judgments and cannot be expressed. Therefore, unnurtured souls have erred. For when unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation, they, being shut up in their houses, the prisoners of darkness, that fettered with the bonds of the long night, lay their exile from the eternal province. So that long night, 72 hours, 3 days. It was 3 days of pure, thick, I can feel it with my hands, darkness. For while they supposed to lie hid in their secret sins, they were scattered under a dark veil of forgetfulness, being horribly astonished and troubled with strange apparitions. Woo! So they were, let me just keep going. Let me just keep going. For neither might the corner that held them kept them from fear, but noises as of water falling down sound about them, and sad visions appeared unto them with heavy countenances. So they're seeing visions. They're hearing all kinds of crazy noises. Just think about this. What if the Most High, just saying, decided, lion roar, machine gun shots, which they've never heard. Some of these people probably dropped dead just from fear alone. And they deserve it. They oppressed us. We've been oppressed. Let me keep going. No power of the fire might give them light, neither could the bright flames of the stars endure to lighten that horrible night. So for 3 days you couldn't see the stars, and if you were to light a match right in front of your face, you couldn't even see the match. Think about that. No power to the fire. So what does fire do? When you have a fire, it illuminates everything around you. That match couldn't do nothing. They couldn't even see it. It was thick darkness. Thick darkness that you could feel. So, let me read verse 6. Only there appeared unto them a fire kindled of itself, very dreadful, for being much terrified. They thought the things which they saw to be worse than the sight they saw not. So when they were seeing the visions, they were tripping. All their worst nightmares, fears, probably all their sins that they were hiding away were all in their faces. All the nasty, evil things they did to us were in their faces. Let's keep going. It's verse 7. For the illusions of art magic, they were put down. As for the illusions of art magic, they were put down, and their vaunting in wisdom was reproved with disgrace. For they, the promise to drive away terrors and troubles from a sick soul, were sick themselves of fear, worthy to be laughed at. So, their false gods couldn't help them. In fact, they were worthy to be laughed at. Everybody in Egypt that wasn't an Israelite was honestly worthy to be laughed at. They oppressed us. They earned this. I'm just thinking about, like, let's just say if you were a young person and you went somewhere and a dog ate your face off. That's not judgment? Do you know they used to feed us to dogs for sport? What if just so happens that in your past life, after, you just got your face eaten off by a dog, you lived though. You lived to tell about it. What if you were one of the people in the audience cheering on the dog when they were throwing our children into that pit to tear them apart in front of us? To death. Not just a little couple pieces of your body getting torn off. I'm just saying, what if? What if? That's just a what if story. There's nothing real there. Nothing really happened like that. But anyway, your mind will make things worse than they really are. And when you can't comprehend something, that's when the real fear sets in. Imagine being in that darkness, seeing all those. Let's just say that they were seeing like really horrible things that they did. And on top of that, he's probably, I can't say what the Most High was showing them. I just want to go with that because I know that they did those things. And you guys know they did those things. So I'm going to say maybe they had to see that in their face, but it was even worse than what they ever expected. Or worse than what it really was, because the Most High showed it so, what if he showed an apparition of a tiger attacking you, or right in front of you, or serpents all around you? You know what I'm saying? You can't comprehend that. You're gonna. What if he starts showing you a bunch of ghosts of all the people that you oppressed and killed, just all surrounding you? It'd freak you out. You would lose control of your bodily functions. Yeah, it would have you scared shitless. Let me keep going. Let me keep going. Verse 15. Wait. Let's go back to verse... Where did I leave off at? Verse 7. For the illusions of art magic they were put down, and their vaunting in wisdom was reproved with disgrace. Their vaunting in wisdom. They don't have any wisdom. And then I'll read 8 again too. For they that promise to drive away terrors and troubles from a sick soul were sick themselves of fear, worthy to be laughed at. So let me re-break that down. The soothsayers and the counselors and the magicians were unable to do anything because they were in the same position. Number 9. For though no terrible thing did fear them, yet being scared with beasts that passed by and hissing of serpents. Because like I said, I was making that an example, I'm getting ahead of myself, but imagine that, getting attacked by a lion and all of a sudden it disappears, and then a bunch of hearing serpents, seeing visions, going crazy. Believe me, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
They died for fear, denying that they saw the air, which could of no side be avoided. They died. They died of fear. Let's keep going. For fear is nothing else but a betraying. Fear is nothing else but a betraying of scours which reason ofteneth, and the expectations from within being less, counteth the ignorance more than the cause which bringeth the torment. But they sleeping the same sleep that night, which was indeed intolerable, and which came upon them out of the bottomless of inevitable hell. So, we've always told you this. I don't care what camp you go to, one thing that all the camps have in common that are bringing... They all bring out somewhat the truth. But any Israelite will tell you hell is not a place you can go. It's a low estate. These guys are in hell right now. They're at the lowest estate. The Most High is purposely tormenting them to show his might and his power. And the Most High will literally do everything to show his might and his power. Sorry, I keep like I said, I'm still working 10-hour days, 6 days a week, and I have to drive 5 hours now because my son's truck or his car broke down. So I might get lost every couple now and then, but let me just read it again. By sleeping the same sleep that night, which was indeed intolerable, and which came upon them out of the bottoms of inevitable hell. So they're at the lowest estate. They're scared literally to death. 15. We're partly vexed with monstrous apparitions. So you're seeing not only just like regular, he said monstrous apparitions. Well, we know that we saw animals. We heard tigers, we heard bears, we heard serpents hissings, we heard all kinds of crazy noises. We've seen all kinds of other things going on. Like I said, probably our sin, crazy, all kinds of stuff. But what else now? What else? So we're vexed with monstrous apparitions and partly fainted, their heart failing them for a sudden fear, and not looked for come upon them. I'm sorry. Let me read that again. We're partly vexed with monstrous apparitions, and partly fainted, their heart failing them, for a sudden fear, and not looked for, came upon them. So, they had a heart attack. Once again, it's showing these people are dying from the fear. But honestly, how long you think you can handle it? Seeing all kinds of visions, hearing all kinds of crazy stuff, the thick darkness so thick you can feel it, light a match and you can't even see it, put it this close to your face, it has to burn you just to see it. Think about that. So verse 16, so then whosoever there fell down was straight kept shut up in a prison without bars, without iron bars. So they were prisoners in their own mind because they were in complete darkness. You get that? When you're in complete darkness, you're a prisoner in your own mind. This word was meant for all of my brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles and grandparents and forefathers and foremothers. All my cousins, all the people in this truth, that's my family. That's who this is for. That's who these words are for. Teach about the Exodus to the generations. Your generations. My generations. You guys are my generations. You're here with me right now. And so I have to show you this because the Most High already showed it to me. These people are in darkness. So then whosoever there fell down was straightly kept, straight up in a prison without iron bars. They were in darkness. They were in a prison in their own mind because the Most High was putting apparitions, sounds in their heads. They couldn't move. Some of these people were losing their balance. Other people were just dropping dead. Some people having heart attacks and dropping dead. So, let me keep going. 17. For whether he were husbandman or shepherd or laborer in the field, he was overtaken and endured that necessity which could not be avoided, for they were all bound with one chain of darkness. They were all together, prisoners in their own mind. I mean, listen to the scriptures, guys. If you're not in this truth, you are in darkness and you are a prisoner in your own mind. That's how you can think of concepts on how to stop the Israelites. We're going to prove them wrong. Once you try to prove this book wrong, you are a devil and a bearer of false witness and an adversary to the Most High, and he hates you just like the rest of his children. Let's keep going. Verse 18. Whether it were a whistling wind or a melodious noise of birds among the spreading branches, or a pleasing fall of water running violently, or a terrible sound of stones cast out, or a running that could not be seen of skipping beasts, or a roaring voice of savage wild beasts, or rebounding echo from the hollow mountains. These things made them to swoon for fear. Did you hear that? Everything was happening at once to them. Everything. Terrible sounds, stones being thrown, or running that could not be seen, skipping beasts. So it's like a whole herd of wild antelope just running through, and you could just hear them. The roaring voice of a mighty savage wild beast. Where is it coming from? Not even being able to see it though. And then having other apparitions that you actually see. So, that right there was probably my most favorite plague that the Most High put on the Egyptians. In spiritual Egypt, you guys have a spiritual darkness over you that you don't understand. Spiritual Egypt, you guys are prisoners in your own mind on a daily basis. You're in this right here is your darkness. You cannot see this. You can't hear this. You don't understand this. This is our book. Let me read those last two verses. For the whole world shined with clear light, and none were hindered in their labors. Over them was spread a heavy night. Over them only was spread a heavy night, an image of that darkness which should be afterwards receive them. But yet were they unto themselves more grievous than the darkness? So, let's go back to Exodus. So, chapter 10, and we're gonna go to verse 24. But those people died. Nothing was really happening there. Yahweh was just playing with their minds. Exactly how he's doing to you guys today. You guys are in darkness for a reason. He wanted you to believe a lie because you like to be deceived. So he wanted to give you a great delusion that you could believe in. So you guys got all kinds of delusions you get to believe in. You can pick your delusion on a daily basis just to be distracted. But back to the real scriptures, verse 24 in the book of Exodus, chapter 10 and verse 24. And Pharaoh called unto Moses and said, Go ye, serve the Lord. Only let your flocks and your herds be stayed. Let your little ones go with you. You know why he's not wanting to let us take our flocks and our herds? It's very simple. We killed all his stuff. So while we're gone, he thinks that he's going to take all of our flocks and our herds. But the Most High said, no, we're taking everything with us. Let's keep reading. And Moses said, Thou must give us also sacrifices and burnt offerings that we may sacrifice unto the Lord our God. Nope, we need to take our stuff with us. Our cattle shall go with us. Our cattle shall go with us. There shall not a hoof be left behind, for thereof must we take to serve the Lord our God. Let me go ahead and stop chewing it up. Let me read it again. Thereof must we take to serve the Lord our God. And we know not with what we must serve the Lord our God until we come hither. So he's saying we got to take all our stuff. We don't even know what he wants us to do until we get there. So we got to bring everything. Everything we own. Including, I'm serious, they're taking everything. But we're just talking about the animals right now. Believe me, every animal, every feather, every egg, if they got chickens, everything's going. And Pharaoh said unto him, Get thee from me. Take heed to thyself. See my face no more, for that day thou seest my face, thou shalt die. So he told Moses and Aaron, raise up. Fall back, homie. If you see me again, I'm going to kill you. And Moses said, Thou hast spoken well. Good. I will see thy face again no more. He's like, great. Finally, we can get out of here because you know what? The Most High, my Father, my Abba, is going to finish his job whether I see you or not. So thank you. Let's get this going. So let's jump over to Exodus chapter 12
And, or let's go to Exodus chapter 11. Start at verse 1. And the Lord said unto Moses, yet will I bring one plague more upon Pharaoh and upon Egypt. Afterwards he will let you go hence. Then he shall let you go. He shall surely thrust you out hence altogether. Let me read it again. I always mess up. And the Lord said unto Moses, yet will I bring one plague more upon Pharaoh and upon Egypt. Afterwards he will let you go hence. When he shall let you go, he shall surely thrust you out hence altogether. Speak now in the ears of the people, and let every man borrow of his neighbor, and every woman of her neighbor, jewels of silver and jewels of gold. So they went and took all the silver and the gold from the Egyptians. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. Moreover, the man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt, in the sight of the Pharaoh's servants, and in the sight of his people. So they're like, take our stuff. For some reason, today I love you. Because why? The Most High put a spirit on him, saying, yep, take it. Woo! He put that spirit. You can't fight this. You can't fight this. You can dispute it. You can make up all the lies you want. But at the end of the match, you're going to be beat down. Every scripture wins. Used in the correct context. That's why this book is for us. This book is for the prophets, so we can teach the children of Israel. And all you false prophets and bearers of false witness, that's right, all you devils need to stay out of our book. But it's okay. It's okay. I actually invite you to screw up our book some more, because you know what you actually do? You help us. You help us separate the 1/3 from the 2/3, because the 1/3 is going to say, that's not right. I saw something in this book that just disputes us. I'm going to go home and do my homework and research. I don't even need to talk to you. All of you false prophets. Now, you know what? For some reason, and the whole time I'm saying this, I'm thinking about this guy, Vocab Malone, for some reason. He's always, I've seen so many debates where this guy just gets chewed up alive, and he just smirks like he's winning. And then he goes back on his own channel, edits shit up, edits it to where he almost looks like he knows what he's doing. But even the people that listen to him, the 1/3 is going to wake up. But anyway, let me keep going. Let's just jump up to, let's go to, verse 4. This is the very final plague. Oh, I almost forgot. The plague of darkness. How could I forget this? The plague of darkness is proving that Akhman Ra, the god of the sun, is fake. Your sun god has been destroyed. Let's go to the next one. Death of the firstborn. And this is, we'll call it a threat right now. But we know the end result. So, let's go to verse 4. This is Exodus chapter 11 and verse 4. And Moses said, thus saith the Lord, about midnight will I go out into the midst of Egypt, and all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sitteth upon his throne, even unto the firstborn of the maidservants that is behind the mill, and all the firstborn beasts. And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt, such as there was none like it,
nor shall be like it anymore. He said there's going to be a cry out in Egypt that you've never heard like it before, or there'll never be a cry like it afterwards. So to this day, we'll never hear what this cry out sounded like unless you're one of these Israelites that was in Egypt that is sent back. Let's keep going. Verse 7. I'm trying to find out where I had to read back over to where I was at. Verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and the Israel. He said that ye may know how the Lord get down. I'm going to show you how I get down today, homie. I'm going to make a separation. I'm going to sever. Remember back in the other classes, sever? I'm going to separate Egypt from Israel. How's he going to do that? I'm going to sever them. Watch. I'm going to separate them. I'm going to put them apart. Verse 8, and all these thy servants shall come down unto me and bow down themselves unto me, saying, get thee out, and all the people that follow thee. And after that I will go out. And he went out from Pharaoh in a great anger. He told, what did he tell the Pharaoh? What did he tell him? He said, these servants shall come down unto me and bow down. They're going to bow down themselves. And Moses has finally hit the point where the Most High put a spirit on him to have a temper. Because Moses, now, if you know anything about Moses, he was a very meek person. So it wasn't like him to get all loud and out of control. So for it to say that he was in great anger, you got to understand that this is serious. Let me keep going. And the Lord said unto Moses, Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you that my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Egypt. Ooh. And Moses said, and Moses and Aaron did all these wonders before Pharaoh, and the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart so that he would not let the children of Israel go of his land. I'm sorry, go out of his land. So here we come. We're at the very final plague. This is what the Passover is all about. The word Passover means to be passed over. So, what is he passing over? Let's see. Let's see what we're passing over now. We're finally there. We've made it. We're at the Passover. Let's, first of all, let's go to Exodus chapter 12. And we're going to jump up to verse 23. We're going to get right to it. What is he passing over? Well, let's see. This is Exodus 12 and 23. For the Lord will pass through to smite the Egyptians, and when he seeth the blood upon the lintel and on the two side posts, the Lord will pass over the door and will not suffer the destroyers to come in unto your houses to smite you. So, what is the Passover? When he passes over the Israelites but still smites the Egyptians. Now let's go back. We're going to find out what this Passover is all about. Okay, so get comfortable. And we're going to go ahead and chapter 12. Throat's getting a little dry. Starting from the top. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginnings of months, and it shall be the first month of the year to you. How do we know what month we're in? When does the year start? When does the year start? The January 1st. Oh, you mean in the 10th month of the Gregorian calendar? That's when? December? Desa, 10. Hold on. Let me read that again. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th day of this month they shall take to themselves, to them every man, a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for a house. Every house has a lamb. If a household be too little for the lamb, then let his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb. So you're saying how much you eat, that's how we're going to count how much people should be on each lamb. So if this lamb is too big for one family, let's have it for two families, and so on and so forth. Verse 5. Your lamb shall be without blemish. So that means it can't be limping around the yard. It can't have some kind of weird disease, mange. It has to be the best lamb. The most cleanest, most perfect lamb you have. What do? We go down to Sprouts and buy a leg of lamb. It's boneless. It's horrible. It's horrible. Who knows how that lamb came out. But we have to pray over it still and hope for the best. Faith. That's all we got. We're practicing the righteous acts right now. We're practicing. Why? Because we just found out who we are. We just found out 50 years ago who we are. So, verse 5. Your lamb should be without blemish. And Yahushua was without blemish. So when they crucified him, he was without sin. There was no marks on him. This blemish represents sin. It's not marked anywhere. There's no cut, no scrape, no scar, no broken bone. That is without blemish. So in other words, when you go back over to what it's actually talking about, when Yahushua went to the cross, he didn't have no cut, no scrape, no bruise. He had 0 sins under his belt. He was clean. He was a perfect lamb without blemish. Let's keep going. Let me start over again. I'm sorry. Verse 5. And your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year, and ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats. So it'd be a lamb or a goat baby. And you shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. So when the sun goes, this is why we always wait until the sun goes down to cook our lamb because you kill it in the evening. So in even, and then you go back to, so watch this. I just want to show you guys something real quick. And so when you go to Genesis, it says, and this is verse 5. Genesis verse 5, chapter 1, verse 5. And God called the light day, and darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. So, when they killed that lamb, when was it? It was in the evening on the first day. The first day of what? The first day of the time of them keeping track of their years. Okay, let's keep going. Verse 7, and they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two side posts and on the upper doorpost of the houses wherein they shall eat it. And when you do the blood over the doors, that's so, what I told you in verse 23 already, so the destroyer would know to pass over your house because he saw that you struck your doors and your posts with the lamb's blood, to show that you're following instruction. Verse 7, and they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two side posts and on the upper doorposts of the houses wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in the night, roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Now, why do we eat lamb, unleavened bread, and bitter herbs? Because it tells us to. He told us to do it this way. So if you want to add or take away from it, that's because you are not in the truth. Even my 3-year-old does this. And he can do it. You can do it. Verse 9. Eat not of it raw nor sodden. Don't have it rare. Oh, I want mine medium rare. Or I want mine boiled. No, it says, wait, let's see what it says. It doesn't say eat it raw. Don't boil it at all with water. So let's start over. Verse 9. Eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire his head with his legs and with his pertinence thereof. Pertinence thereof. So in other words, this is what I was talking about. We go down to Sprouts, we get this boneless piece of lamb, and that's what we get. What did it just tell us to do? This is why you know that you're practicing the righteous acts. Now, I've only known of one person in all of my years of being in the truth, which aren't that many. I mean, there's guys in GMS that have been in the truth for 30 plus years. But I've only known of one person that raises lambs and would sacrifice one for the Passover. And I've never actually seen that person do it. And then there was one camp where last year they actually roasted the entire lamb the way it was supposed to be done. They actually didn't. They smoked it in a smoker all day when it says to, what does it say to do? Roast with fire, not smoke with smoker. So there is a specific order of operation in doing even the cooking, the eating, the preparation of having the lamb set apart, holy, righteous, set apart on the 10th day to the 14th day. So everything, there's a process to this. This isn't just like go and grab a lamb from the store, which is what we have to do. But that's why we call it practicing the righteous acts. Practicing. And you know what they say, practice makes perfect. So do it right. Let's go back to 9 again. No, yeah, let's read it again. Eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire his head with his legs, and with the purtenance thereof. Verse 10, and ye shall let nothing of it remain until morning, and that which remaineth of it until morning ye shall burn with fire. So what did it say? Eddie, don't leave nothing until the morning. Remember back over here in chapter 10, or I'm sorry, back over here in chapter 12 in verse 4 and 3 and 4. If a household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. So a man according to how many people and how they eat. How many people and how they eat. Back up to verse 10. So now we know that we're supposed to kind of try to plan the lamb out according to how many people and how much food they actually intake. So back to verse 10 again. And ye shall let nothing of it remaineth until morning, and that which remaineth until the morning ye shall burn with fire. I do that every year. The first couple years we actually had stuff left over in the morning. I was surprised. This year, we had we burned that the same night because we knew what we weren't going to eat, and I burned it all out. I just threw it back on the fire. I do it every year. I want to follow the instructions. I strike my doors every year. It's called practicing the righteous act. Now I know you don't have to do it, but I want to show my kids how it really went down. My firstborn son's 9 years old, so he hella appreciates it. My 23-year-old, he appreciated it too when he lived with us. So, believe me, the kids see what you're doing. Teach your children in the way in which they should go and when they grow up. And when they grow up, they will not turn from it. So, there's a method to the madness. Verse 11, and thus shall you eat it with your loins girded, and your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. So, there you have it. Put your shoes on. Get dressed and ready to go. Eat it quickly. Something's going to happen. Don't sit there and say no. Hey, let's hang out. Let's, you know what we should do? We should have a concert and have all of our best rappers get up on stage. And then we'll have women singers. And then we'll have a dance hall. And we'll have the lamb. And we'll have Where in the fuck did you guys get all that shit from? Where'd you get that? You are teaching against the scriptures. So what does that make you? An adversary. An antichrist. You can't go in and just implement your own little deal. Oh, I had to go to take my wives home for the after. What do you mean after party? The whole fucking days of solemn assembly. 24 hours. For as long as you guys are here, when I go back home with my family, we still chill. We don't go and do some extra special stuff because it's the after party of the Passover. There's no such thing. Hold on. Let me see where the after party's at. Where are we at? Verse 11? I'm going to see if I can find it right now. We're talking about the Passover. So I want to see where that after party is. So I want to take my wives home. I only have one wife. And that's all I want in this land. This land wasn't created so we could have 12, 13, 14 wives. But anyway, let's go ahead and find that after party. Verse 11. Thus shall ye eat it with your loins girded and your shoes on your feet and your staff. And your staff in your hand. Loins girded, shoes on your feet, staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste. Hurry up. This isn't something to slow. Hurry up, that's what it says. It's the Lord's Passover. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and I will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast. And against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord. So, needless to say, he executed judgment on the Egyptians. He killed all the firstborn sons of man and beast in the land, including Pharaoh. They thrust them out of the land, and that begins a whole new story of 40 years in the desert. But we're going to actually close it out right there. But I got one more thing to say. The last god that he proved was fake was Pharaoh. Who is Pharaoh? That's that 10th plague killed his son, right? Killed everybody's kid. Killed everybody's firstborn son. Pharaoh is the ultimate power of Egypt, believed to be the son of Akhman-Ra, the son of the god. It was the son of Akhman-Ra himself, manifested into flesh. So guess what? He got debunked too. He got served. He's not a real God. And what did he do? He set the Israelites free. And with that being said, if you got eyes to hear, if you got eyes to see, and you've got ears to hear, Most High willing, you were able to get something out of this message. All praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rawa Akadash. Double honors to all the sincere prophets out there bringing out the real truth. With that being said, Shalom, Israel.